What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and this video I want to talk about which system will release first, the Xbox Series X or the PS5. Now, this is, we talked about really each of these systems separated from each other. What is their strategy? Which one is waiting on the other one? And to be honest with you, the answer is they both really are waiting on each other, which makes for a very interesting time to be watching them, right? It really, really seems like Sony wants Microsoft to go first. At the same time, it seems like Microsoft is very willing to match/beat really anything Sony does. Now, these are only from rumors that we've heard around the gaming industry, and I think this year in particular, when it comes to knowledge on the PS5, knowledge on the Series X, knowledge on these companies, it seems like everybody just suddenly knows everything, right? Suddenly everybody is all just clued into what happened. So I think, honestly, when all is said and done, I think we're going to find a lot of them were wrong and very, very few were right. At the same time, you can only make so many predictions on things like this when these consoles release, how much the consoles are. You can only predict so much. There's really only a couple different combinations you can have until you're going to be right? So I do think that it is a waiting game. I think that, and I'm making this video specifically, Thursday, obviously. I don't need to tell you what happens on Thursday. It's going to be a really, really amazing day, right? But we have that happening with the PS5. I don't think, and I've said before on this channel on podcast now, I don't think we're getting a release date. I don't think we're getting a price. In fact, I don't even think we're getting the actual system. Maybe. I think that's the only one that is up for debate. I think for sure we'll have like a teaser of it, if not actually see the system. But again, in terms of like price, release date, I don't think that's coming. Again, I really do think these companies are trying their best to wait on each other. When it comes to release date, my gut feeling tells me Microsoft is going first. I really do think it's possible that the Series X comes out first. It was kind of muddy when they originally announced that. Remember, it was coming out this holiday, but remember they announced it back like a month or so ago, and they said like on Thanksgiving, and that was very, very confusing because for a while, for a couple hours, which isn't the longest time in the world, but the internet literally took that, and they did kind of say it as if they meant it to be coming out on Thanksgiving Day. And there was a lot of articles written, there was a lot of videos made of like, that doesn't really make sense, and that's probably not a very good strategy to use. And besides that, they give Sony lots of time to release before them. Remember last time, PS4 released 1 week earlier, okay? So there's never going to be, I don't think there's going to be that much of a gap between these two companies. I do have a feeling, though. I don't know. I have been wrong multiple times in the past with lots of different things. So I do actually hope I'm wrong because I would like the PS5 first just because that's the one I'm getting. But I do think that Microsoft is going to go first. I think Series X will release probably 1 week before PlayStation. Again, I don't think they're going to come out a month apart. I don't think they're going to come out the same day. I really don't think that's going to happen either. I think that's going to be really, really interesting, and we'll have to see if that gives either of them a distinct advantage. I really don't think, I think because people kind of spun it both ways back when these were both, came out into the public, the Xbox One and PS4 back in 2013. People really spun it both ways because obviously Sony did get that head start, but I believe Microsoft won Black Friday. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that happened, and a lot of the stories were spun as in, like, hey, like, look how amazing it did, but it's also because it literally came out right before Black Friday, and a lot of people waited for Black Friday to get the Xbox One. So I think I do remember that. So it'll be interesting to see this time around if basically the same thing happens. Even if it's, say, reversed, I mean, it could literally be the same thing. Obviously, Xbox would have the head start, but then if PlayStation comes out, say, 5 to 7 days before Black Friday, I think it would win Black Friday because you're going to get a couple million, like 1 to 2 million people maybe, that get the Series X like that day, that week, and then that just stats-wise, factually, that has less people able to get it on Black Friday, right? Because people have already gotten it on release. So for PlayStation, maybe they're willing to wait those extra couple days to get a Black Friday. So it will be really interesting. And obviously, I mean, price is a really, really big factor, right? I think ultimately they'll both price. I could see them being equal. I think obviously again that was different for the last gen consoles as well. That PlayStation beat Xbox's price. But I think this time I guess because they're so willing, again, by state, and again, that could all just be talk. That could be like they're calling each other's bluffs. But in terms of like their public comments, they seem very, very willing to compete with each other. Whether that means Microsoft can actually come down and beat PlayStation by $50 or actually more, which I don't really think they would. These consoles are going to be somewhere in the $400 to $500 range, right? $400 to $500. I think they're both going to kind of land in that $450 range. Ultimately, we'll have to see, but I think price is something that you could end up seeing them being the same, although you never know, because if they are that powerful, if the Xbox Series X is as powerful as they say, maybe it does cost more money, but ultimately if they are in charge of setting their own price. If they're willing, either company, to take less money on them, right? If they're willing to say, hey, we're willing to not make as much of a profit or actually make no profit on these systems, then they are willing to do that, then I think it is possible that the consoles are the same price. But release date, I feel like we're going to have a repeat of last time where it is going to be like a one-ish week difference. I think that's going to happen this time. And I don't know, my gut feeling just tells me Microsoft may get the one-up on Sony for this time. And again, will that impact it? Will that end up resulting in Xbox selling more, taking the lead early on in the console generation, winning the console generation? And again, for even people that care about that stuff, right? If you don't care about it, then it doesn't really matter. And ultimately, if you're getting the Series X, I think you're going to get it. I think if you're going to get the PS5, you're also going to get it. I don't know if coming out a week apart, if that's really going to matter. However, I do understand that considering we are talking about millions and millions and millions of people, and the numbers just keep going up, there are a lot of people that can get influenced by a lot of different things, and one being available while the other one isn't available is a pretty big thing, right? If you only have a choice between one thing, not two things, you're more willing to get that one thing, aren't you? So it definitely will be interesting, and I don't think we're going to get this info this week. I don't even think we're probably going to get this info over the next couple weeks, but obviously at some point during the summer, we'll be able to answer this question of which of these two are coming out first. So guys, let me know in the comments below, what do you think? Which of these two systems is going to release first? Do you think they could release on the same day? How much apart do you think they'll be? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed to this YouTube channel. Hit the bell icon so you guys know when these videos go up. And again, thank you guys so much for watching. I do a brand new video on this channel every single day, and so I hope to see you guys for tomorrow's video.